Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome to Yofukashi no Uta. If you haven't noticed from my getup, that's just tomato juice. If you didn't figure that out either. Yes, Yofukashi no Uta, a brand new anime in this season. An anime about vampires. And besides that, and the fact that the original manga was written and, or at least drawn. I don't know who the actual author of the manga is, but I know the artist of the manga is the same person who made Dagashikashi. Uh, Probably one of the best manga that I've read. One of the funniest, that's for sure. And one with one of the most interesting and specific art styles. If you've read Dagashikashi, if you've seen the first season of Dagashikashi, the anime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The pinprick eyes, the overly detailed irises, all that stuff, the faces, the facial expressions, all that stuff is so very specific to that artist. And from what I've seen, from the promo art and from the trailer, they somehow managed to capture this art style, if not perfectly, then at least really well. They captured the art style in Yofukashi no Uta at least as well as they did in Dagashikashi Season 1. There were some changes in art style in Dagashikashi Season 2. Uh, Nothing particularly egregious from what I recall. I think the biggest change in Season 2 of Dagashikashi was the change in format. It went from 24-minute episodes to, I believe, 12-minute episodes, which gave it not enough breathing room, in my opinion. But oh well, at least we did get season 2 in some form. So who am I to complain? What else? Nothing else really. Like, I really know absolutely nothing about Yofukashi no Uta. I'm not familiar with the source material. I don't even know what studio makes it. I haven't checked it out. But we are gonna check it out together after the reaction, after the discussion. We're gonna check out the staff, the studio, the voice actors, all that stuff. Then closing thoughts. As usual, that's the usual format of my videos. If you're brand new to the channel, if you are, hey, welcome, enjoy your stay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep talking anymore. Oh, the camera really doesn't like my red shirt, does it? Yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking, and we're gonna start watching instead. So, cheers for the brand new series. It's been ages since I had tomato juice. And here's your subs. Why has it already started? And here's my sound. And with all that set up and prepared, we can start watching Yofukashi no Uta, Symphony of the Night. I think that's the English title. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep calling it Yofukashi no Uta. And we can start watching it in 3, 2, 1, go. Noita something. Noitama animation? Is that the studio? Oh, that looks pretty. I think it's an actual photo with some filters on it, but it does look great. The bouquet in the background. Oh, it's gonna be one pretty anime, isn't it? The trailer shot. Oh, straight into the OP. Okay. Okay, that's a great OP. That's groovy. I really did not expect starting straight with the OP. Call of the Night, not Symphony of the Night, Call of the Night. Oh, the characters. Okay. That's a big cast. And that's a big cape. And those are big fangs. And you're holding it upside down. It's gonna be a visual treat, isn't it? Some cool shots already, right from the get-go. Why are you scared, my dude? Running from home? I love the colors. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, that's why he's sneaking out. Yeah? Night does feel like that. There's nobody around, just you. You're free to do as you please. What's that drop in music? Okay. Color me intrigued. Love letter? Yeah, confession. I mean, it's an opportunity to learn, my dude. It's an opportunity to learn. Until one day he meets a vampire and he understands what means liking someone. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing you don't have... Yeah, you don't have anybody like that. Whomst. Oh. Yeah, always. Always. I'm waiting for some package or something. My phone rings. Oh, you can buy a pair of glasses for 20% off. I love the lighting here. Some lager, Some other beer. You gonna do it? Of course he's gonna do it. I love the lighting in this series. In this episode, at least. And here's the vampire. The sound! Oh, I love it. I love it. I love every single thing about it. It's just an act of rebellion. If you let me drink your blood. Okay, I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. Because night is peaceful, night is calm. There's nobody bothering you, there's no noise outside. There aren't any people in the streets. And that, indeed. At least they're honest. Just gonna high five them. No. Yeah. And her domain. Shonen. He just released his inhibitions. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Yeah? It's not a bad feeling, is it? Oh? Right from the get go? Damn, that's forward. That's an interesting hobby. Double futon. Already prepared? Okay. Oh, that's a very nice shot. Thank you very much. No. Where did you get that idea? Yeah. It's just the tip of her fangs, of course. You're gonna sleep better when you're anemic. Yeah, and yet you trust her. You're gonna pretend so well that you're eventually gonna fall asleep. Here comes the neck bite. Vampire time! I really love what they're doing with color here. Jesus, that's a well rendered mouth. Feeding time indeed. And now he's a vampire. She's a vampire, desire darker than black. She's a vampire, reach higher, no turning back. Okay, it was a vampire bite. And you apparently taste good. Yeah, sure. Why is there blood on your mouth then? No, not particularly. It certainly would seem so. Probably not. As a means of subverting expectations, yeah, exactly. Did you want her to? No, they create offspring by natural means. Yeah, it's just eating. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so she can create a vampire if she wants to, but she doesn't have to. Because she chose not to turn you. I guess that can be arranged. That sounds like something that can be arranged. Okay. I'm assuming that might become a plot point eventually. He figures out that he's in love with her and tries to avoid being bitten because he maybe doesn't want to be turned into a vampire. Definitely does sound like a plot point. Yeah, she's not particularly uh, experienced herself, it would seem. Yeah, he doesn't understand love. Or so he says. Okay, you're into men then. Yeah. Fucking Fujoshi. Okay, so he became a hikikomori, except he does go out at night. Did you feel the cold of the night, perhaps? I guess so. My therapist would disagree. You need to fall in love first. I love the faces. Uh, yeah. The beat in the background. Okay. That's gonna be the plot of the series. Okay. Nazuna and Kou. Hmm. Interesting. But it is. There is some difference there. She gonna throw him off the roof and then save him, give him a little bit of a thrill. Yeah. And the colors. And the colors again. And the music. The Milky Way. Man, I wish I could see the stars in my city. Too much light pollution. Creepy nuts. I guess the music does sound like something made by someone named Creepy Nuts. Isn't it? Yeah! First night, the night flight. Okay. Okay. One thing for sure. One thing I have to say about this anime for certain. Extremely stylish. From the colors to the music. Oh, it's a feast. It's a feast for the senses. I did not expect it to be this good. I expected it to be good, don't get me wrong, but not quite this good. It's real fucking good. Okay, let's go through it again, shall we? Full screen. Come on, work with me there. There we go. The OP, great. Some great music, some great animation, great visuals. I just love everything about it. The use of colors. Right? Very drab, very washed out colors to signify the, maybe not quite stagnation, but to signify the normalcy. And then as soon as he goes out, all the colors. All the colors. Purples, greens, yellows, blues, everything. The world at night, much more colorful than the world during daytime, even. Because we see moments of daytime here, right? Notice how, like, sure, it is a flashback, but notice how washed out all the colors are. And here we have evening, and colors start coming in during the evening. And then at night, you have all the colors. I really like what they're doing with color here. I really truly do. And yeah, he's right that being out at night is very freeing. Also, a very interesting take on a hikikomori. He's not just a hikikomori, he's a hikikomori who still has the need to go out, to not just stay cooped up cooped up in his room all the time. He knows that it's not the way. He finds it boring. He doesn't want to do that. But he also doesn't want to conform to what society expects of him. So, as an act of rebellion, he goes out of his home, but he does so at night. I like it. There's a lot of psychological, maybe not psychological drama, but psychological themes here, and I really, really do enjoy it. I even at times find some parallel to myself in him, to be perfectly honest with you. A parallel, what they're talking about, a parallel to myself. Like the bit about people staying up late if they're not satisfied with their day. That's essentially what I'm doing. I feel like I haven't done enough during the day. I haven't, I don't know, I haven't done what I wanted to do. So now I have to stay up late and still not do what I want to do, but have the feeling that I'm trying. Kind of sort of deal. It's fucked up and I need to work on that, I know, but I really find it relatable, you know? I just don't really understand dating. That's a very interesting premise. That's a very interesting premise because now it seems like he will try to actively fall in love with the vampire girl. He never understood it, dating or love or things like that, but now he will try. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I can't wait to see where it goes. He doesn't get the whole thing about liking or not liking somebody. Yeah, another act of rebellion, right? Underage drinking. Very common thing, let's be honest here. Underage drinking, underage smoking. The probably like the most uh, common ways of youth rebelling against the system, against their parents, against whatever. Also, again with the color, immediate flash of yellow. And now blue. The colors are shifting so much, and there's so many colors around. It really reminds me of, yeah, it really reminds me of C Cube, or Cube Cute Curious, or C3. It had many titles. I usually just call it C Cubed. One of the, maybe not, yeah, I guess one of the most out of there, one of the most revolutionary series for the time when it comes to the visuals. It also liked playing with color a lot, with bright neon colors, with VFX. There was a lot of particles, a lot of stuff like that, really ahead of its time. And this series really reminds me of C-Cube, how they're playing with color here. I love it. The blue aura of the vending machine reflected in her blue eyes. She's the vampire. Yeah, they aren't satisfied with how they spend the day. And she has no inhibitions because at night inhibitions don't exist. She just greets those drunkards and high fives them, and that's it because she can. And because they can, because societal norms at night aren't as deeply ingrained. Night has its own rules. You'll never be satisfied if you don't release your inhibitions. That's also true. That's also very true. Also, I love the faces they sometimes use. Those squished up, low detailed chibi faces. I love it. Yeah, release inhibitions. I wouldn't be in this fix if I could do that. So now he makes an attempt. Releases his inhibitions. Just for a little bit. Just talks to a stranger. Little things like that, you know? Yeah, high five. Doesn't feel bad, does it? I'm gonna give advice to people who can sleep and help them resolve their issues. No, you just want to suck their blood. Also, that's an amazing shot. I don't know if it's CG. It probably isn't. It's probably like hand drawn, hand animated. The skin dentation on her thighs. Peak character design. Let's be honest here. Peak character design. Yeah, just a guy and a girl sleeping on the same futon. Nothing bad. And he falls asleep in the comfort of knowing that there is another person besides him. Or rather, he pretends to be asleep. And then we get this whole sequence that's so detailed, so over rendered. And again, the play with colors. Immediately, some pink comes in. Right? Her face is so intricate now. The little lines on her lips. Here, this shot. This shot is a shot that I'm gonna have to just screen cap. Maybe I'm gonna use it even for the thumbnail. I don't know, but it's great, and the contrasting colors. And the best thing is, those colors make no sense. They absolutely don't, because there's no source of colored light in this room. There's no source of light whatsoever, right? If we look here, there's just some blue natural moonlight coming through the window. This is just for the mood. This isn't to actually light up the scene, it's to create the mood, to create some emotion, to create just visual beauty, just prettiness, just style. The pale green and purple and some blue from the window coming in, so you know that there is some of that natural light coming in, but at the same time everything uses completely out of their colors that don't exist in the scene. Chomp. Super thick lines also. One more thing very much worth mentioning, super thick lines. This is a very interesting midpoint card. And so is this. And yeah, the act is done, and we're back to natural lighting. And he apparently tastes very good. Yeah, a little bit of comedy, so you know that it's not all just psychological things. There's also comedy. And yeah, you don't turn into a vampire unless a vampire you're in love with bites you. And since he doesn't love her, not yet, at least, he didn't turn. Again, play with the colors. Again, the blues, the pale blue, turquoise more like, or however you pronounce it, the green blues and the purples, the squished up faces. Yeah, you need to be in love with the vampire, but he doesn't understand love. He will try to do that. That's a very, very interesting premise. He has some gripe with women for some reason, with girls. I don't know what exactly his gripe is, but I'm guessing we're gonna explore it throughout the series. This place is the furthest you can hope to get from all these things you think are a pain. That's also true, right? Like, you generally can't just escape from the things that are a pain. You generally can't just grab your wallet, grab your phone, and board the train and just go to the next country over, or even to the city on the other end of the country, or not, or even like the next city over, and just stay there for a week. You generally cannot do that. But the night is that little bit. It's a little bit of that. Is the ability to escape. It's kind of a parallel world you can escape to. It is the same city, but it's different. It's very different at night. I really like the themes of escapism in this series, and I have to wonder what they're gonna do with them. Because there's a lot of potential here. There was nothing I wanted to do or wanted to be. Yeah, the usual rut of just not thinking of the future, not thinking of what you're gonna do, not thinking of what you're gonna be, not knowing those things. Like, let's be honest here, not everybody just knows at the age of 14. He's 14. Most people at that age don't know what they want to do. Sure, there are some that already know, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. Yeah, I had a friend who, at the age of like 14, already knew he wants to be a plane mechanic. And he probably is. I don't know, I lost contact with him, but he probably is. Yeah, but not everybody does. Many people don't. Me, at the age of 14, I thought I might be an actor. I thought I might be a radio host. I thought I might be what were other plans I had? A writer. I might have had my own band, things like that. I ended up studying programming. Figures, right? And now I'm gonna work as a teacher. Figures, right? So yeah, it's not unexpected that he didn't think of his future. It'll come in time. But now he knows. He knows. He made a resolution. Or however you say it. He wants to be a vampire. That's what he wants to be. And the squishy face again. I love it. Yeah, it's embarrassing. I like that our vampire-chan herself isn't the usual trope of a almighty, all-knowing vampire who's only just, seductive and has no weak points or anything like that. No, she gets embarrassed. I like it. I really do. It humanizes her a lot and serves as a very cool partner for our main character, right? A guy who doesn't know, who doesn't understand love, and a girl who gets embarrassed by it. Very, very interesting. If I go back to my old life, I just spend my days in boredom. First time I wanted to be something, a vampire, sure, but I wanted to be something. I have a goal for the first time in my life. Yeah, I'm just gonna suck your blood. I'm not gonna do anything more. Nazuna. Nazuna, Nazuna, Nazuna. I'm gonna have to remember that. If you want to fall in love with me, go ahead. But I'm not gonna help you. Something tells me she is gonna help him in the end, but hey, who knows? Human blood tastes the best right before a person falls asleep, to the moment that they do. I want to infuse more night into you. The thrill of the night. The thrill. The thrill itself. And again, very bland, very washed out colors because nothing particular is going on. And then the thrill of the night. And you have all the colors. Suddenly, all the flats, all the apartments are lit up in bright pink. Because who doesn't have RGB lights in their rooms, right? And the galaxies, the stars, everything is so visible. Everything is so colorful. This is the nightlife. Awesome, isn't it? Awesome indeed. Just like this episode was. Awesome indeed. Okay, so that was a little bit of a discussion about it. And now I need to check out the stuff. Yofukashi no Uta. This is. There it is. AniList. Yofukashi no Uta on AniList. And can I get window capture, please? Oh, yes, I can. Cool, cool, cool. Yofukashi no Uta. Oh boy. Oh, it's interesting. Very interesting. Recommendations: Bakemonogatari, Vanitas no Carte, Dagashikashi, Kizumonogatari. Why don't those recommendations surprise me? Studio Liden Films. I don't think they made many things. Oh, Yushagashinda. It's gonna get an adaptation. Interesting. First time I hear of it. What else did they make? Bastard, the anime whose dub was bastardized. Tribe 9, someone recommended it to me, so I might check it out. Some weird other anime, some child anime, it seems. Bill Divide. Hataraku Saibo Black, okay. Urusekai Picnic. So there are some series that I heard of. Tejina Senpai, very much similar art style, so that doesn't surprise me. Some Maho Shoujo show, Killing Bites, I guess checks out. What else? Berserk 2, oof, that's a stain. That's a stain on their portfolio. And what else? Yamada-kun to 7 no Maho, however you pronounce it. Terraformars. Oddly enough, they weren't responsible for Dagashikashi. Which studio made Dagashikashi, out of curiosity? Dagashikashi was made by Studio Feel. And season 2 was made by a different studio, I believe. Season 2 was made by Studio Tezuka Productions. Studio Feel. Those are the things that they made. And Tezuka Productions also made some things, but let's not talk about those. Let's go back to Yofukashi no Uta. Staff. First and foremost, original creator, I'm gonna check out the director, character designer, of course. That's plenty of main animators, but I want art director, art designer, and color designer. First time ever, I'm actually checking out the color designer. Sound director and sound effects, very much so, because they also were very, very memorable. Director of Yofukashi no Uta, also a director of Vanita no Carte, Owari Monogatari, Koyomi Monogatari, Owari Monogatari, Tsuki Monogatari, Hana Monogatari. Okay, so the director of the Monogatari series. Chief director of Nise Monogatari, Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica, episode director and storyboarder of the OP. So now the director. Maria Holik, Utaware Rumono, and Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, episode director of a few of them. But yeah, the director of the Monogatari series. Figures. Actually, genuinely figures. character designer for Yofukashi no Uta. Yofukashi no Uta Mini. Okay, so there is a series of animation director for Review Starlight and animation director for the OP and the chief animation director and character designer. Okay, again, checks out. Arslan Senki, Enen no Shobutai, Miss Monochrome, Terraformers, key animation of episode 11 of Kill la Kill. Second key animation on Akame ga Kill, Chunibyo, Nichijo. Okay. Animation director of Review Starlight is also an animation director of the OP of Yofukashi no Uta. Interesting, and at the same time makes perfect sense. Yofukashi no Uta Mini. Okay, mini animations posted on the Twitter account. Set us not watching, set us planning. Sure, why not? Norihiko Yokomatsu, art director for Yofukashi no Uta. Also an art director for Killing Bites. Also an art director for Kaiji. Also an art director for more Kaiji. Also an art director for not much else. Interesting. In general, it seems like the people who are responsible for Yofukashi no Uta don't have super huge portfolios, but they are having some really cool stuff in them. Another art designer, Shinji Sugiyama, also art designer for Karakuri Circus, Harakana Receive, Ushio no Tora, Gin no Saji, Hunter x Hunter 2011, Death Note. Okay, interesting. Izumi Takizawa, color design for Yofukashi no Uta. Also color design for Vanitas no Carte, and you can immediately tell it from the thumbnail, right? The contrast of blue and yellow. And from what I heard, Vanitas no Carte is also a very stylish show, so it makes sense. Color design from Trigatsu no Lion. Finishing for Kizumonogatari, Koyomonogatari, Kizumonogatari 2, Owari Monogatari, color design, Tsuki color design, Nisekoi OVA's color design, Hana Monogatari, Nisekoi, Madoka Magica, some sequel or something, Maria Holik, Bakemonogatari, Zetsubo Sensei. Yeah, that's a big portfolio of some fairly prominent shows. Makes sense. Eriko Kimura, sound director. Also sound director of anything I would recognize. Heike Monogatari, haven't seen it, but I recognize the name. Devilman Crybaby, again, haven't seen it, but I know of it. Phantasy Star Online 2, Shokuko no Altair. And that's as far as my recognition goes. And sound design, I believe, sound effects. Sound effects, Maki Takuma, that's a cool armor she has. Also sound effects in some idol shows. Makes sense, I guess, and nothing that I would recognize. Okay, let's continue with the staff. Yoshiaki Dewa, music. Music was amazing in this show so far. So I need to know who is responsible for that. That's a lot of producers. Advertising is even listed. Interesting. Production office, system manager, recording assistant, music producer, theme song performance, Creepy Nuts. I'm gonna have to check them out as well. Episode director, storyboard, chief animation director, key animation. Everybody so far is listed for just episode 1. That's... holy shit, that's a lot of key animators. Holy mother of Christ, that's a lot of key animators. Jesus Christ. Of course, I'm not gonna check out all of them because there is a whole section of them. 3D CG, interesting. I haven't noticed any CG. I guess maybe the parallax effect of the city being shifting around in some of those shots. That might have been CG. Interesting photography. That leads me to believe that perhaps some of those scenes actually were photos of the city, simply post-processed after taking them. Background art, again, a lot of background artists are listed. Production, line manager, sales planning. We are getting like full staff here. Staff managers. Who lists those? Vehicle assistants, really? Special effects. Okay, we're gonna check out special effects as well. Yoshiaki Dewa, music, Japanese arranger, composer, and member of the band Jukai. Music for Star Wars Visions. For what else that I would recognize? I don't recognize any of those. Okay, Fate Stay Night, I guess. Theme song arrangement for ED1, so fairly prominent. Gamers, I recognize that. I don't know if I've seen it or not. And I think this is like an idol show, and the dude was also responsible for music. Cool, cool, cool. Creepy Nuts, Ninja Slayer theme song. Okay, okay. That's not many roles in anime that they had, but they made the OP of Ninja Slayer. Okay. Cool, cool. And Rina Kamikubo, photography for Yofukashi no Uta and special effects for Yofukashi no Uta. No other roles. Now, another important thing, voice actors. Nazuna Sora Amamiya, Kou Gensato. We haven't met all the other characters yet, so I'm not gonna be checking them out quite yet. Yofukashi no Uta. Yeah, her name isn't Yofukashi no Uta. Her name is Nazuna. Voice of Aqua from Konosuba. Voice of Miyako from Precon. Of Elizabeth from Nanatsu no Taizai. I haven't seen Nanatsu no Taizai, but I know that it's fairly popular. Ririna. Ririna? Her name is Ririna. Okay. Okay, that's some Pokemon show. Interesting. Who else that I would recognize? Illustrious from Azure Lane. Mostly just the voice of Crash Lulu from Overlord. Okay, that's another character I recognize. Hitomi from Killing Bites. Anybody else? Mia from Monmusu. That's all I recognize. And also a lot of theme song performances. Interesting. Insert song performance in Punchline. Gen Sato, the voice actor of Ko. Also a voice actor of nobody that I would recognize. Okay, interesting. Interesting. It seems like they haven't hired any particularly big names. Oh, what the hell. I'm gonna check out the rest of them just to get a quick look at how big their portfolios are. Yumimi Hanamori, voice of Nadeshiko from Yuri Camp, voice of I just recognize Nadeshiko. Just at a quick glance. Haruka Tomatsu, voice of Asuna in SAO, M4A1 in Girls Frontline, PP Me, but again, who hasn't voiced PP Me? And 02. Okay, so some decently prominent roles, it would seem. Saiki, and that'll do it. Eri Kitamura voiced Lucky in Tokyo 24 Kou, voiced Mina in Boku no Hero Academia, Darjeeling in Girls und Panzer, Tsuchiya in Girls und Panzer. Yeah, Darjeeling. And those are all the characters that I recognize. Next is Yoko Hikasa, who also voiced nobody I would recognize. Okay, San Louis from Azure Lane and Honolulu, also from Azure Lane. Majo Maho from Goblin Slayer. And that does it, I think. Oh, Emilia in Hataraku Mao-sama. Okay. I missed that one. Next, Hiroyuki Yoshino, voice of Frankie, voice of Suenaga from Zombieland Saga, voice of someone from Promare. I have to watch Promare, still haven't seen it. And some other voices as well. Inmuta in Kill la Kill. Okay. Now I know what voice to expect. Next is Shizuka Ito, voice in Sailor Moon. Voice of who else? Again, nobody I would recognize. But again, that's just on me, probably. Yeah, I don't recognize. Oh, Meiko in Prison School. What is this portrait of her doing here? I wouldn't have recognized her if not for this little screen here of this little thumbnail of Kangoku Gakuen with the striped uniforms. It's a very weird portrait to choose for her. Oh, Yuran in Blade and Soul. That'll do it. Naomi Ozora voiced Uzaki. Voiced Haru Fukuda in Girls und Panzer. Voiced, yeah, Uzaki. Who else? Black-tailed Prayer Dog in Kemono Friends. Satanichia in Gabriel Dropout. And that's all I recognized. Kensho Ono voiced Yuri Breyer. Okay, that's an immediately recognizable character. Someone in Yusha Yamemas that I haven't seen, but I did hear of. Someone in Psychic K, PP Me, of course. And nobody else that I would recognize. At least at a glance. I don't want to spend like particularly much time reading through those. Azumi Waki, the voice of AUG in Girls Frontline, the voice of someone in Love Live, the voice of AK-12 in Girls Frontline, of Special Week in Uma Musume, Okay, so some fairly prominent roles. Shion Kujo in Sonandeska. And that does it for the staff. What can I say? Surprisingly good. I honestly did not expect this series to be quite this good. I expected it to be good, but not this good. And this level of good you can only really get from a studio like this, from a studio like Liden Films. They aren't making the blockbusters. They aren't making 5 seasons of the same thing. They aren't adapting the most popular thing in Shonen Jump. They aren't doing the by the numbers anime. They're doing small, maybe not smaller necessarily, but the more experimental things. And I'm grateful for the existence of studios like that who are willing to take some risks and who are willing to experiment with the medium, who are willing to play with color, who are willing to play with sound, who are willing to play with music, with art style. We have seen a lot of play with art style in this single episode. Reminds me a fair bit of Saihet no Paladin. Because Saihet no Paladin also had that interesting line work that kind of changed the thickness along the line, and I'm noticing the very same thing here. Mm, it's a great beginning. It's a feast for the eyes. It's a feast for the ears. There is some comedic moments, but there also is some depth here. There also is some psychological issues that we're gonna have to work through alongside our main character. There is a very cool setup for what's going to happen in the future. Uh, I'm gonna be waiting for more with bated breath. I'm probably not gonna dress up as much as I did today, but in my heart, I will be dressed up for every single episode of Yofukashi no Uta. I might even buy some more tomato juice for the occasion. I don't know. It was great. Just plain great. Just plain great. From the visuals to the stories to the characters to the voices to the music to the sounds, everything came together to just create something extremely stylish, extremely beautiful, and also purposeful in its beauty. It's not artsy for the sake of being artsy. There's a meaning to the artistry, there's a meaning to the beauty, there's a meaning to all of that. They're not playing with colors just to show pretty colors. They're not playing with art style just to show pretty art style. Everything is purposeful. And I really appreciate that as well because there's plenty of shows around who are artsy for the sake of being artsy. Right? Can we do something weird here? Does it make sense to make something weird here? No, it doesn't, but let's just do that to show how artsy we are. Let's use photos of pigeons instead of drawings of pigeons. And let's have our viewers just scratch their heads at why the fuck did we use photos. There's no meaning behind it, we just wanted to be artsy. No, it's not this kind of a show. I like it. I really did. And I hope you guys also enjoyed it. I haven't pulled out my notebook because I don't think there's particularly much like theories and stuff to be had. I guess one theory that I had and was pretty much instantaneously confirmed is that the whole series will be about Kou, I think is his name, slowly falling in love with the vampire, or perhaps just learning to love on her example and then falling in love with another girl. I don't know. Either of those seems plausible. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So now you guys, yeah, I'm giving you your turn to tell me in the comments down below, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories, if I had any. If you know the source material, don't spoil me, please. I beg of you. If you want to talk spoilers, join my Discord. There's a link here. There's a link in the description. There's the Yofukashi channel there, where you can go and you can spoil to your heart's content, because you can use spoiler tags, which don't exist on YouTube. So it is what it is. Like this video if you liked it, disliked if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Yofukashi no Uta, but also Overlord Season 4, Hataraku Mao-sama Season 2, Symfugure GX, and Review Starlight. We're gonna be watching the recap movie and the movie proper, I think, next week. Maybe this weekend, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to manage some time for that. I don't know, we'll see. Probably next week though. And for whatever will be replacing Review Starlight in the future, because some non-seasonal show will be. If you want to support me, what I'm doing, you can do that in many ways. You can do that on Patreon, you can do that on Throne. Both links are in the description. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, like Review Starlight, and like whatever is there to replace Review. For just $1, you get place in the credits, and you get a role on the Discord. You don't get early access. And for $5, you get to vote in the poll for the replacement of Review Starlight. One more show I'm watching, Ruby, so subscribe to also be notified of the release of new episodes of Ruby. There's also a Throne link in the description. I'm just experimenting with it, so check it out if you want. Don't if you don't want to. And if you just don't want to spend any money, you can of course also help the channel by sharing my videos, spreading the word. The word of mouth really matters a lot for the growth of a channel, so I'm thankful someone tells me that they shilled my videos in some Reddit thread or something. It really makes my heart a little bit warmer. And what else? I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, Discord. So that's gonna be it for me for today. So as always, you guys all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits that I mentioned. You can help expand this list.